I am in the possession of 3 exceedingly ripe bananas. However, I am going to turn these bananas into very easy banana bread bites. I shall use my bananas, sugar, a couple of eggs, some butter, some flour, all-purpose flour, baking soda, baking powder, nice little bite-sized muffin tin, and of course, a cup of tea, because that makes everything better. Okay, bananas, let's do your stuff. Okay, so with my giant mixing bowl here, the first thing I'm going to do is put in 1 cup of sugar. There we are. And then I'm also going to add 1 cup of butter. Or in my case, margarine, but that's okay. And we'll get these all creamed together to start with.
Making more apple muffins?
No, I'm making banana bread bites. Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, my mover.
Goodbye, Ginger. Love, love. Then we have our 2 eggs. So now that we've got our 2 eggs in there, we'll mix those in. This is an awesome recipe. I would say 22 years ago I was introduced to this recipe, and I still love it. It's a really good recipe. Okay, so, and now we're going to put in the flour. And I like to do kind of like half at a time. I find it a lot easier to mix together because it can get kind of difficult after a bit. Scraping it all down from the sides as we go. There we go. And the other thing that we don't want to lose in the middle of the mixing and everything getting tough and stiff is the baking soda as well as the baking powder. So I'm going to add those and get them together right now. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then I need 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. And we'll put that in. There we are. And I'll tuck those out of the way. Mix those in. Doesn't have to be perfect yet, because I still got other stuff to put in here, like more flour. So now we'll add some more flour. But this is nice and creamy already. So let's add some more flour. Still not quite all of it. We'll mix that in. Definitely more dough-like, you can see. So go along here. Okay, so that's the butter and the sugar and the 2 eggs and the 2 cups of flour and my 1 teaspoon of baking soda and my 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. It isn't going to taste like much of anything unless we add the stars of our show, the ripe bananas. Drop them in my little thing here. And I've got a bag. Woo! That's okay. Off to the side. Because banana peels tend to smell fairly nasty on their own. So if you stick them in a bag of their own before you put them into the garbage completely, it'll keep things from smelling quite as badly until you have time to change the garbage itself. It's easier if I break it into pieces as we go along here. Break those ones down. So once I'm done smashing my bananas up in here, I'll actually be able to tell you if you're curious, how much banana I have used in the recipe. So we'll smash these all up too. There we are. Now you can actually see with me how much banana we have in there. So just when you thought our batter was going to be way too hard to use, that's what the nannies are for. Okay, so bananas came out to roughly 300 milliliters. So that's all right. Or if you want to do it this way, 1 1/4 cups of smashed bananas. All right, we'll take a sip of tea. Because all that smashing needed a little sustenance here. And now, I'm going to get it into my bowl. Here we are. So there's my batter. Usually they say try to make a space in the middle, but that batter's pretty thick. So I'm just going to put the whole of the bananas in there. Right off. Get that mixed down in. And then we mix. So that's tough to start with, but once this banana gets in there, it won't be that difficult at all. I'm doing this just in time. I just saw a fruit fly go by. Shoo fly, don't bother me, I belong to somebody. When James was just little, I would sing that. I mean just little, like he was just a year and a half. And I remember it was a very hot summer. We were in the kitchen and there was this silly fly, just a house fly, buzzing around, just driving me nutty. So I took the dish towel and was kind of waving it at the fly, and I started singing, "Shoo fly, don't bother me." Well, he started to laugh, and I think what he thought was I was saying that it was a shoe for your foot that was flying. Either way, he thought it pretty funny. And I just kept singing it because he kept laughing, so that was alright. So as you can see, that banana has mixed in very nicely. All my flour is down from the sides. Everything is down from the sides. And the next deal is to get it into what I'm going to bake it in, into the container. Now, you could put this in, of course, a loaf pan, and you would grease it, and you would bake it at 350 for an hour. I'm going to stick it in the tiny little muffin guys and turn these into banana bread bites. And I'm actually going to cook at least 2 dozen at a time. So that I'm not trying to run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I can keep an eye on what I'm making and an eye on what I'm baking. Fairly decent spoonfuls here. Okay, so the first dozen or 2 are done here, and I'll move those out of the way and bring over my next set of trays. And I'm going to make sure that everything is really still well mixed in here, so I don't miss any, because this is good stuff. Alright, the other thing I'm going to do is bring over my timer, just so I can, again, keep a better eye on what's going on. Now with these other 2 dozen that I want to make, I'm actually going to add some raisins. I'll get my napkin out of the way. There we go. Now Steve doesn't like raisins, that's why I made the first half without, but James and I really like raisins. So I promise, Stevie, I will label these for you. I promise. Alright, so I'll do the same deal and put these in the little muffin cups, making sure they're a good heaping teaspoonful as I fill them up. Oh, those smell so good. Alright, get my oven mitts. Check my first batch because my timer has gone off here. And there's one. I'm leaving the other one in for a few more moments to brown. They don't always brown at the same temperature. It depends on the hot spots in your stove or in your oven, so just keep an eye on that. There we go. Okay. We're almost done. We'll get these out of the way. Those out of the way and bring over my raisin-filled ones. I had enough for 2 dozen minus 1. That's the hole in the back corner there. And sorry about the angle of the camera. It's a little off, but you can see what I'm up to. Oh my goodness, these smell so good. And there we have it. A huge plate full of banana bread bites. Don't they look awesome? So we have those ones. And we have an equally impressive plate full of banana raisin bread bites. So there you go. Quick, easy banana bread turned into little mini bite-sized guys for you and 46 other people to enjoy. And Steve, just so you know, no, not all of these are yours. I just wanted to make sure you didn't get any raisins because I love you. Enjoy.